they were tough. They were tough on the community, they were tough on the party, they were tough on the family, they were tough on me. It wasn't until I finished that I realised how exhausted I was. But I am proud of having the honour of being the first woman Premier. I'm glad I did it because I think we'd still be waiting for the first woman Premier of Victoria if I hadn't, because it's still pretty much male in there, the power play people. And as I said earlier, the nicest thing that I have said to me pretty regularly, amazingly regularly, is, well, I'm glad you did it because now my daughter knows she can be Premier. And that comes from all groups of people, from the people of Laverton to the people of Kew. So I think taking it on, doing it, and after the first 6 months doing it with my head held high, I am Premier. And what's extraordinary to me is people actually remember what I said at the time. You know, a young woman came up to me the other day and she said to me, oh, it's nice to see you again. She said, I always remember what you said at an Equal Opportunity Conference when you were Premier. And I said, oh, do you? What did I say? And she said, be proud of your achievements. And I said, gosh, I hope I took my own advice. And she laughed and she said, well, I do. I'm proud of my achievements. And she said, however small. And so I think having a child, I put on my achievements list. So I guess when you say, do I look back on it fondly, part of it I look back on fondly. I mean, certainly the Aboriginal Lands Act, the Rape Law Reform, and the fact that people say, well, you showed us it could be done by a woman. Not only the legislation, but the guiding the state could be done by a woman. So, I guess I'm proud of that. And I'm even prouder that having got the affirmative action through with a number of other people and got MSS set up, that now we have a critical mass of women. That was my aim, and the aim of Kay and others, that we've got a critical mass of women from whom Prime Minister of Australia has come, and of course she was one of the young activists who helped us do the affirmative action and set up Emily's List. So being part of the beginning, just as John Kirner was the beginning of getting Labor back into government as a respected managing government which brought benefit to the state and to the common good, I'm proud of the fact that we could add to that, or we could broaden the culture of the party so that it wasn't only the male group that could do it, but the females, not just myself, but Kay and Carolyn and Maureen and others, could broaden that to some semblance anyway of equity and opportunity for women. But the one thing I was going to say that I am proud of, if you judge good government by the extent to which you've changed circumstances to enable more people to take advantage of opportunity, then we were a successful government in social terms. But there was no way we were ever going to be a successful government in economic terms. We were in the trap of the recession. So, and that's what most people remember. They remember what the economic terms were, and that was real for them. So only later do they think about, my God, over those years of the Kay and Kirner government, and I don't know whether they ever really addressed this because the media certainly didn't. We had the best education system, the best health system. Those two were probably the key. And now that people are complaining every day in the newspapers that they don't have a say, or that government is arrogant, or whatever it is, they don't actually think back to when they did have a say, and did they make their lives better, and it did. But, the understanding of what's good government includes people having a say, but it's not on their shopping list or their tick list. It's fascinating. Still, I'm glad we did it that way. We opened up opportunity generally in education for kids from all classes. We opened up education, made it a right for children with disabilities. We opened up decision making about things that affected people's lives, whether it be the environment or the land, whatever it was, to a view that the community, that the best decisions are those where the community affected by the decisions has a say. So we certainly did all that. And how interesting now that that's become fashionable again. It used to be called the 70s look, but now it's fashionable again because it is, in the long term, the way to go. I think it's interesting because my political framework of operating is collaborative and is community ownership. So the best decisions, in my view, are those in which an informed community is which is affected by the decisions, is part of making the decisions. And I've found in whatever I've done that that's the best way to go about decision making. Over the last maybe 20 years, the concept of decision making by experts, made by experts, political experts, framed by experts and written by media experts, has become the way to go. And I think the public is very dissatisfied with it, and the politicians are suffering from it. In fact, the concept of a politician is suffering from it. We will, I think, go back or forward maybe. We will eventually have to go forward to a concept of decision-making in which we all share in contributing to those decisions, and on top of that we all take some responsibility, because you can't share in decision-making unless you take some responsibility. And that'll be a society which is much more respectful of politics as something that everybody owns and uses to create not only the individual good, but the common good. And that's where I came in, and that's hopefully where I'll go out.